Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I'll be discussing the Game 2 international friendly between the US Women's National Team and the Republic of Ireland. You can also listen to this match review on Spotify, link in the description below. Likewise, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can also watch this game review on YouTube. Link will be in the description. Alright, so the US are coming off of a 4-0 win against Ireland in Game 1. Honestly, the win wasn't all that surprising, but a 4-0 win was definitely surprising. Yes, I kind of expected the US to win, but man, I expected more of a challenge from Ireland. Don't get me wrong, it's great that the US won, but I was more disappointed with how Ireland played. And I think a lot of people were disappointed with how Ireland was playing. A lot of people expected Ireland to challenge the US, but that didn't happen. I was expecting them to put the US under more pressure. I was expecting Ireland to challenge the US in the midfield. When it came to the midfield, more or less, the US kept it in Ireland's defensive third. They had no problem or issue regaining control and possession. They were putting Ireland under a lot of pressure. And because of that, Ireland just seemed to fold under the slightest amount of pressure. They were really struggling to get it out of their defensive third and get forward. The US in Game 1 played really well. Avery Patterson was great. She did well getting past Ireland's back line. The same also goes for Alyssa Thompson. I said it in my first game review, but when it came to Thompson, it was like Ireland didn't know what to do about her. Maybe they weren't expecting her to full-on charge at them, but you can't just step up to her and do nothing. She's going to run right through you if you let her. And that was exactly how Thompson scored, too. When it comes to Game 2, maybe it will be different. We could see rotations in the US's starting 11, which would be okay. We can expect to see the US maintaining control and being on the attack. As for Ireland, now that they've seen how the US is going to play, maybe they will be more prepared this time around. Maybe they will know what to expect. They could challenge the US for control and possession. That is something they must do if they want to get their attack forward. Or they could lock down their defense and focus on counterattacking, which is also another good strategy. Either way, if Ireland plays like they did in Game 1, we could see another dominant win for the US. That being said, let's get into the lineup for this match. Alright, so the lineup. We have Mandy McGlynn in the goal. For defenders, Emily Sams, Jordan Bugg, Tara McKeown, and Izzy Rodriguez. For midfielders, Croy Bethune, Sam Meza, and Olivia Moultrie. For forwards, Emma Sears, Yasmin Ryan, and Lynn Biandulo. Alright, so this is a very interesting lineup. Hayes made a lot of changes. Bugg and Sams are starting in the back line. That is great to see for obvious reasons if you are familiar with my channel. Overall, the back line should be all right in this game, especially if Ireland is not going to put them under pressure. So Mandy McGlynn, she'll be safe too. Still, the US back line and McGlynn, they have to watch out though and be on high alert if Ireland does decide to get forward and attack in this game. When it comes to the midfield, no Sam Coffey, but we do get a different Sam in the form of Sam Meza. Meza has been playing well for the Seattle Reign, but it will likely come down to whether she can keep control of the midfield and create those build-up plays like she does for the Reign. Attacking and controlling with Meza are Moultrie and Bethune. These are both good attacking midfielder options. We will likely see them connecting with the attack. Up top is Emma Sears, Lynn Biandulo, and Yasmin Ryan. These three will have no issue breaking through Ireland's back line as long as they can up their pace and intensity. On top of that, if the midfield and attack can keep the pressure on Ireland, they will likely dominate this game. And like I said before, Ireland actually has to fight back. They have to challenge the US and put pressure on the US if they want to be successful, if they want to get their attack forward. That all being said, let's get into the first half. All right, so the first half, we are off. The US are in a 4-3-3. Ireland are changing it up. They are in a 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-3-3 like in the last game. All right, so 11 minutes in, both sides came out swinging with a lot of intensity in these first couple minutes. Ireland was determined to not be caught chasing the US around the pitch like last time. The Irish were able to get an early set piece, but nothing would come from it. Kind of wasted there, but pretty close. We are seeing some more pressure from Ireland. However, the US are still maintaining control and possession. They are shaking off Ireland's pressure and getting forward. So it's a little like they're applying a little pressure, but it's not really enough to deter the US. Despite Ireland's efforts, Sears managed to get behind Ireland's defense on the wing and send in a cross. Biandulo would score off the volley, grabbing the US's first goal in the 11th minute. US Women's National Team 1-0. 21 minutes in, or 21-minute mark, Biandolo's goal in the 11th minute has sparked more confidence from the US. It is what the US needed to turn up the momentum. The US are attacking with more intensity and confidence. Control has been in the US's favor, and Sears was finding her way behind Ireland's back line. She is creating chances, and players are getting into Ireland's box. 33-minute mark, the US are still on the attack, which is to be expected, while Ireland is left defending with their lives. The US has been successful with their control and attack. The team is getting forward pretty well, with Sears, of course, getting past her defender, and also the US getting into the box. Despite the good buildup and chances, the US needs to convert and grab more goals. 45-minute mark, Ireland would start getting on the attack around the 34th minute and keep it up until the 37th minute. Ultimately, nothing would come from Ireland's attack. The US would recover and start getting forward again. The US would grab their second goal in the 41st minute after Sears would see her initial attempt blocked. Izzy Rodriguez would collect and score off the rebound. US 2-0. There would be an additional 2 minutes of added time. The first half would end with the US Women's National Team up 2-0. All right, so much like Game 1, the US go into halftime up 2-0. This was another dominant half for the US. They kept control and maintained possession. We are seeing some pressure from Ireland, but it is not enough to stop the US. The Ireland right wing is still weak and exposed. Sears was getting behind them without much challenge or resistance. The US is creating a lot of chances, but they may need to be quicker attacking centrally. That central area outside the box is where the US is facing some, I don't want to say challenge, but congestion, since Ireland is trying to get compact and prevent them from getting through. If the US can be quicker with their movement and touches, and perhaps focus on the wider channels like the wings, where Ireland is struggling to defend, the US will be able to get their chances off quicker. Besides that, the US are doing well and will likely dominate the second half. To Ireland's credit, they are defending well, but their wings, especially the right wing, is open and exposed, mainly to Sears. They have to close down those areas or at least try to challenge Sears. That all being said, let's get into the second half. All right, so the second half, we are off. The 55-minute mark, the US are still on the attack and are looking for their third goal. Biandolo and Bethune had chances to score earlier, but Ireland is still holding strong. 67th minute mark, the US is still on the attack, but with not much breathing room for Ireland. Ireland are staying strong despite the US's onslaught. This would change as Coffey and Sentnor would sub on in the 62nd minute for Biandolo and Bethune. Almost instantly, Coffey would make an impact. Coffey would make a run before passing it off to Ryan. Ryan would play it up to Sears. Sears would touch it back to Moultrie. I almost said Tears, which is probably how Ireland feels right now. But yeah, Sears would touch it back to Moultrie, who would find Ryan in the box. Ryan would score in the 65th minute, making it 3-0 for the US. A great build-up play started by Coffey. Yeah, US 3-0. All right, so the 80th minute mark. The US are still on the attack and are hunting for more goals. Sears is still attacking up the right wing and creating chances as expected. Next to Coffey, she's probably my favorite too. Hayes is bringing on Hutton and Alyssa Thompson. Never mind, Thompson is my favorite. She's bringing on Hutton and Thompson for Ryan and Moultrie. This just means more added firepower in the attack. 90th minute mark, the US would be awarded a free kick in the 83rd minute. Bug would see her banger denied by Brosnan. Yeah, it was very disappointing. How dare Brosnan deny Bug her banger? But no matter, Alyssa Thompson would grab the US's fourth goal in the 86th minute. The US maintained their attack until the final whistle. The match would end in the 90th minute with no additional time. The US goes on to win 4-0. All right, so this match was very identical to Game 1 in the sense that the US kept control and maintained their attack. We saw a lot of chances being created, and maybe the US could have had even more goals. Regardless, 4-0 is still amazing. This was another solid performance from the US. Overall, it's just another day at the office and another job well done for the US. As for Ireland, we need to talk. They were defending a tad better, but their wings were still exposed. There was little to no response to Emma Sears or Alyssa Thompson when she came on later. Because Ireland could not stop Sears, she was able to make runs down the wing and create chances. The moments Ireland were on the attack would ultimately amount to nothing. On top of that, they still could not keep control, and once again, the US would end up dominating this game. So yeah, that's it was just an identical match to Game 1. The US now has to go and face Canada, and not maybe, it's likely the US are going to get challenged in that game. Anyway, that all being said, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.